Okay, hello, good evening. Hello guys, welcome back to our August week 2. Okay. Yes, Lara, hello. Is it my first time seeing you here? I assume you are from another branch. Alright, so what is up guys? What are we doing today? We are doing revision for today, huh? Alright, I know most of you, your exam is coming soon. Oops, sorry, let me erase this real quick. Okay, guys, please get your August notes ready. I assume you have already received your August notes. And in the middle of the August notes, you have 2 copies of this revision note thing, which is your revision for chapter 5. All right, so let's revise on your chapter 5. Let's go to page 16. I'm not gonna repeat chapter 4. This is a pretty pointless chapter. I don't want to waste my time here. Okay. Yes, Gabriel, hello. The cover looks like this. Okay, let me repeat. You have your August notes, right? You have your August note, you have that cover piece, and then inside there's another thing. There's another copy of papers inside there. That's the thing we are using today. All right. So I know last week we have gone to chapter 7, which is the hormone chapter. I'm gonna put a pause there, okay, because your exam is not covering until there. So we are going to revise on chapter 5. Okay, so I assume most of you are having your exam either next week or next week or the following week, whatever, mid to end of August. So your science paper should be around there. All right, so the objective part, you can do it yourself. The answer will be posted in Google Classroom. I don't know when, but it will be posted. All right, anyway, so let's go to page 16. Let's revise on chapter 5. All right, so guys, if your exam is next week or next week, this chapter 5 is most likely going to come out every day. Okay, I don't know whether your exam covers chapter 6. I hope it does, because if it covers chapter 6, then you have more chance of scoring. Why do I say so? Because this chapter 5 is pretty damn difficult. All right, it's one of the hardest chapter in your homework. All right, anyway, so let's see if we can cover everything today. Okay, if it helps you in your exam. So let's look at number 1. Let's go to page 16. So figure below shows the structure of a chromosome. If you still remember what a chromosome is, all right, every one of your cell has 46 chromosomes inside, because this is your DNA. All right, so name the structure mark P. You can say this is your chromatid or your sister chromatid. Okay, guys, this is not really important, but I do want you to know this. This is called a chromosome, right? When you take one strand out, okay, when you take one strand out, that is going to be your DNA. Okay, so imagine your chromosome as a roll of thread. You know thread? Does your mom do sewing? The one whole roll of thread is called chromosome. If you pull out one strand of thread, that is the DNA. And that one section, let's say this section of the DNA, let's just say it determines determines your height. Then this part is called your gene. Okay, all right, so they are the same thing, guys. Chromosome and gene and DNA, they refer to the same thing. It's just a different part. One roll of thread is the chromosome. One strand is called DNA. One section is called gene. Should be pretty simple. All right. So number 2, state 3 basic components that form the structure. This is not your syllabus. Please cross it out. Not important. So B, how many chromosomes can be found in the human body cell? How many chromosomes do you have? You have 46. All right. 23 from your mom and 23 from your dad. That's why you look like both of them. Okay, you get half from your mom and half from your dad. And next time when you give it to your kid, you're going to give another half. Okay, so it's like a shuffling thing, random. All right, so C, explain the difference between autosome and sex chromosome. Okay, this is very easy. Autosome is the first 44 chromosomes that you have. Okay, you have 46, right? The first 44 is called autosome, and the last 2 is called sex chromosome. So what's the difference? 44, the autosome, it determines characteristics. Okay, determines your characteristics. Menentukan ciri for BM, ciri-ciri. Whereas your sex chromosome, it determines your gender. Okay, jantina. Right, so which is your X and Y. Okay, so if you're XX, then you are a female. If you're XY, then you're a male. Okay, we know this. This is like the most basic info. Okay, so anyway, you have 46 chromosomes. So moving on, let's go to question 2. This is a type of cell division. Okay, so let's quickly talk about this. Guys, I don't want you to focus too much on cell division. There's only 2 types of cell division. This is what we call mitosis. Okay, mitosis, mitosis, whatever. So this type of cell division is called mitosis. How do I know it's mitosis? Very easy. You just look at the legs. Is there any change of color? No, there's no crossing over. If it has crossing over, that is called meiosis. Completely different thing. So what is a mitosis? What is a mitosis? If you still remember mitosis, mitosis is to photostat a cell. Is to copy the exact same cell. You look at here, it has 2 black chromosomes, 2 white chromosomes. So it has 4 chromosomes here. And the daughter cells, it gives birth to, daughter cell is the cell that's coming out. So you see, 2 black, 2 white, 4 chromosome, 2 black, 2 white, 4 chromosome. Can you see these 2 cells? They look exactly the same as the original cell. So if my job is to create the exact same cell, that is what we call mitosis. All right. The quick way to memorize this, for me the quick way to memorize this, can you see that there's a T in middle? T is like a plus. T is like a plus. That means I add the number of cells. My job is to add another cell, is to copy another cell. Then this is our mitosis. Okay, so you create the exact same cell. So give a reason for your answer. Because how do you know it's a mitosis? The daughter cells are genetically identical to parent cell. All right, that means these 2, they are the same as the parent. All right, so this is called sel anak. Sel anak sama secara genetik dengan sel induk. Cell induk is the original cell, which is the parent cell. So they look exactly the same. All right, they look exactly the same. So what can you say about the characteristic of the daughter cell? Okay, we mentioned that they are genetically identical. Guys, please remember this word. This is a keyword. Please say genetically identical. Please don't say same. That's a really lame answer. Same, what same? Please say genetically identical. That's an answer that you should give. I mean, it sounds more professional. I mean, same, what the hell is same? Please don't give me answers like that. All right, anyway, so what happens at stage T and U? If you still remember, mitosis has 4 phases. Okay, the first phase is called prophase. Okay, prophase. The second is called metaphase. When they're arranged nicely, it's called metaphase. Then you have anaphase and telophase. All right, so PMAT. Prime Minister Ada Telur. This is how I remember. Because our Prime Minister got no telur. So Prime Minister Ada Telur. That's how I remember. Okay, so use whatever method you want. Okay, up to you. Okay, yes, Neha, hello, good evening. We are in revision for chapter 5. Okay, this is your August note, the revision note. Okay, we are in page 16, by the way. All right, so what happens at stage T? They don't want the name, they want what happens here. Okay, so T, can you see they are arranged nicely? So we can say chromosomes arranged at the equator. All right, so chromosome disusun di khatulistiwa. All right, what is an equator? This line here is the equator. Guys, this is geography. You know what's the equator, right? You know what's khatulistiwa, right? That's where we, Malaysia, is at. All right, so that's why our country is hot as shit. Okay, so this is equator, and then U is this part. This is your anaphase. This is when your chromosome they separate or divide. So chromosome separate. Okay, so chromosome diasingkan or dibelahkan, whatever. They chop into half. That's your, anaphase. All right. So some students might tell me, sir, this one or chromosome Y is it X? This chromosome Y is it one stick? Don't care. I don't care whether it's an X or whether it's one stick. They are still counted as one chromosome. So you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 chromosome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are still 4 chromosomes. All right. So 4 chromosomes here in the parent cell, 4 chromosomes here in the daughter cell. So I create the exact same cell as my parent cell. This is my mitosis. All right, guys, please don't lose marks here. This is really, really simple. Okay. All right. Yes. Shaina, good evening. We are in page 16 of our revision notes. Okay. Don't get, it's like, okay, so what the hell is happening now? We are in our revision notes for our chapter 5, page 16. This is in your August notes. Okay, that copy of August note inside there, there's another copy slotted inside. That's our revision notes. All right, so I assume, guys, I don't know what schools you're from. I assume you guys are having all of you here, I assume your exam is around mid of August, right? Some schools say they are 15, some schools say they are 16, whatever lah. But usually the first week, if next week is the first week of your exam, usually you don't go in, you don't take your science paper just yet, okay? Because the first paper is usually BM and BI and Sejarah and Maths. So that's usually your first week. So it's only the second week you are taking your science paper. Then we have like 2 lessons to revise. Okay, hopefully that's the way. All right, so E, state one part in human where this type of cell division occurs. So where does mitosis occur? Mitosis will happen in your somatic cell. What is a somatic cell? Every cell in your body is your somatic cell besides one place. For guys, that's your testicle. For girls, that's your ovary. These 2 places, their job is to make sperm and ovum. So they don't do mitosis, they will do meiosis instead. The rest of it, I don't care whether it's muscle cell, brain cell, lung cell, skin cell, liver cell. Every cell in your body, they are called somatic cell. They will do mitosis. So one part in human, you can say your skin, okay, kulit, skin, like I said, skin, muscle, lung, breast. Okay, this is any part that has cancer, it's mitosis, because cancer happens because your mitosis just goes crazy. They don't stop dividing, then you will get cancer. All right, so have you heard of lung cancer? Okay. Because lungs, they do mitosis. So your lung cell. So skin, you get skin cancer. That's why you have skin, they do mitosis. So 2 importance. All right, so what's the importance of mitosis? Just remember me, you, bacteria. Okay, me, you, bacteria. Why? You are still young. What do you do mitosis for? You do it for growth. Okay, pertumbuhan. You grow more cells than kill more cells. Okay, you grow more cells than cells die. So that's why you get more cells, you grow it. Me, I'm 30. I don't grow anymore. I do mitosis to replace. Okay, menggantikan. I think menggantikan is double G, right? Okay, so to replace cells. And then the third one, bacteria. What do they do mitosis for? They do it for asexual reproduction. Okay, pembiakan sex. All right, so just remember me, you, and bacteria. That's the 3 functions. All right, so that's what our mitosis is for. So G, a human muscle cell undergoes this type of cell division. Like I said, muscle, they will do mitosis. How many chromosomes are there in each daughter cell? Like I said, if you start with 4, if your original cell has 4 chromosomes, your daughter cells will have 4, 4, 2. All right, since how many humans have? Humans have 46. So all your daughter cells will have 46. Exactly 46. All right, 46 will grow into 46 and 46. If it is 46 to 23, 23, this is your meiosis. Meiosis. That's why your sperm and ovum has 23. Next time, when you give to your son or your daughter, you give birth to your child, you are giving him or her 23. Your husband or your wife give him or her another 23. That's why your child has 46. You don't give your child 46, and then your other half give your child another 46. Then your child will have 92. What monster will he become? No. Okay, so everyone has 46. All right. So we are talking about muscle cells here. Okay, are you doing reproduction with your muscles? No, you don't. They just create the exact same muscle. So 46. Okay, that's your mitosis. All right. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say here. This is really easy stuff. All right. So anyway, let's skip number 3 because this is mitosis too. I don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again. All right. So let's look at meiosis. Oh, they didn't even ask meiosis. All right, then let's go to question 4. Let's go to my question 4. So where do mitosis happen? Like I said, in your somatic cell. In BM, it's called cell soma. Meiosis take place in your reproductive cells. We call it cell pembiakan. In this case, your testes and ovary. They are the 2 places that will do meiosis. That's all. Because sperm and ovum, they are the only 2 that has 23 chromosomes. The others, they all have 46. All right. So let's look at the difference here. Guys, pay more attention here. This thing might come out in essay. Might. I hope they don't lah, because this is more of a biology stuff, not really in science. Okay. I hope they don't come out. Okay. So what's the function of mitosis? Like I said, for the 3 function for growth, for replace, for asexual reproduction. Me, bacteria. Write this yourself. Okay. Meiosis has only 1 function. This is to produce gametes. Menghasilkan gamete. What is a gamete? Gamete is sperm and ovum lah. If you say, sir, what if I forgot the word gamete? Then write sperm and ovum lah. What's the big deal, right? So just write menghasilkan sperma dan ovum. Whatever, same thing. So places where it occurs, mentioned here already lah, somatic cell and reproductive cell. Number of cell division, mitosis, they will do it once. Okay, PMAT, they do it once, end of story. So they do it once. But meiosis, they do it twice. They will do PMAT1, meiosis 1, PMAT2, meiosis 2. So since they do it twice, okay, since they do it twice, how about the number of daughter cells? Mitosis has 2 because 1 becomes 2. They do it once. Whereas meiosis, they do it twice. So at the end, you have 4 daughter cells. They divide once to become 2. They divide another time to become 4. So 4 daughter cells. Okay, so that's your number of daughter cells. Genetic content, as I said, for mitosis, they are genetically identical. That means these 2 daughter cells, they look exact same as your parent cell. Whereas your meiosis, they are non-identical. None of them look the same. Guys, think of it. Think of it. That's the amazing thing about meiosis. No sperm you ever produce, they are the same. All right? Guys, how amazing this is. You start, okay, for guys, you start producing sperm when you are 13. I don't know. When did you hit your puberty? 13, right? So you start producing sperm at 30. Let's just say you live until you are 80. From 13 years old to 80 years old, you produce 10 million sperms every day. 10 million, that's a lot of sperm. So how many sperm you produce throughout your lifetime? Uncountable, okay? Trillions, quintillion, whatever. How many lions, okay? But none of those 2, they look the same. you almost have zero chance of producing two of the exact same sperm. Impossible. Okay, that's how random they are. You won't create the exact same sperm or ovum in that case. All right, for girls, you produce ovum every month, right? So throughout your life, the ovums you produce are none of those two, they look exactly the same. Impossible. All right, so this is the thing about meiosis. No sperm, they look the same. No ovum, they look the same. That's why when they combine, no child, they look exactly the same. Even if you give birth for 1 million times, you don't create children that look the same. I mean, even twins, they are different, right? Right? You don't tell me, sir, twins, they look exactly the same. Is it though? No, they are a little bit different. Okay, tell me, if you have a pair of friends who are twins, you can just somehow tell them apart. You know they are different. Okay, for other people that don't really know them, they just look the same, but they don't really, isn't it? Right. Anyway, so this is your mitosis and meiosis lah. Don't put too much attention here because it's not very common in exam. Just because they are not common doesn't mean they are not coming out. Okay. Please don't come and blame me. Wow, so you say not coming out. I did not say that. I said that it's not common. All right. So number 5, this is common. Guys, please put more attention here, which is the schematic diagram for that crossing one. All right. So as you can see, the dad has curly hair. Both, okay, big H. So obviously you can see dominant, okay? Curly hair is the dominant gene, whereas your straight hair is the recessive gene. Okay, you look at me, I have all recessive gene here, okay, because my mom and my dad, they are both straight hair. All right, so the children, okay, big H, small h. Please remember how you cross them. 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4. All right, so in this case, you will get big, small h, big, small h, big, small h, big, small h. All right, dominant will always win, if you still remember. All right, that means a dominant gene pairing with a recessive gene. The recessive gene will be covered by the dominant gene. All right, so you will still be that dominant gene. So in this case, the dad is curly hair, dominant gene. The mom is straight hair. So the dominant gene is covering the recessive gene. So all the children will have curly hair, as you can see clearly here. Right, so number A, state the gene trait. Now, what is a trait? Trait is something that you can see that represents the dominant gene. So what is the gene? What is the characteristic you see here that is dominant? So that will be our curly hair. Okay, curly hair. Rambut kerinting. Okay, so complete the genotype. So guys, please remember what is genotype and phenotype. Okay, what is genotype and phenotype? Genotype is the gene. These are the genotype. What you see, okay, the curly, that's the phenotype. All right, because gene, genotype. Phenotype, you just remember as a fan. You know, your ceiling fan, you can see the fan. That's why you can see the characteristic. We call it a phenotype. Okay, that's how I remember. All right, so C, if one of the female child is married to a man carrying a genotype of big, small h. Okay, so let's just say this daughter, big, small h, she marries another man with also big, small h. So what is the percentage of the children that are curly hair? Show solution. So 1, 3, big H, 1, 4, big, small h, 2, 3, big, small h, 2, 4, small h. So these three, they all have dominant gene. So they are all curly. So this, however, both small gene, both recessive. So the recessive, they will show. So this one will be straight hair. All right. So what's the percentage of getting a curly hair? 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 chances that you will get a curly hair child. So that will be your 75%. Okay, 75%. Whereas you have a 25% of getting a straight hair child. Okay, guys, this is basic maths. 3 out of 4 is 75. 25%. I hope I don't need to explain this. Okay, because I have students asking me to explain this. I can't because this is basic maths. Okay, so anyway, as you can see, just because they are curly hair doesn't mean they don't have a recessive gene. The recessive gene in this case is hidden. Okay, it's hidden. Just because both your parents they are dominant doesn't mean come out you'll be dominant. Because what if your dad has a hidden recessive gene, but it doesn't show because he has dominant. Your mom is the same. She has a recessive gene. It doesn't show because she has a dominant gene. Then you are asking, sir, why am I having both recessive gene? Because you got that recessive gene from your dad and you got another recessive gene from your mom. So what can I say besides that you are really bad luck? All right, so imagine your dad is tall, but he has a short gene. Your mom is also tall. She has also another short gene. Then you are short as hell. Then I'm sorry because you got the shorter end of the stick. Okay, no pun intended. Okay, so D, state one recessive trait other than type of hair. So short law. What else? So many things. A single, inability to roll tongue. Okay, you're gonna roll your tongue. Single eyelid. Blue eyes. Blonde hair. Attached earlobe. Absence of dimples. So many. Okay, choose one. Write it yourself. Okay. So next, number 6. Number 6. So this is a chromosome. Okay. So name the chromosome arrangement as shown. Now, what is this arrangement called? If you go and do a DNA test, they spread all your DNA out. They spread all your chromosomes out. This is what we call a karyotype. Okay, karyotype. In BM, it's called karyotype. Same thing. So label the types of autosome and sex chromosome. Like I said, the first 44 or first 22 pairs, they are your autosome. The last pair, that's your sex chromosome. Right? So next, number 3, label the types of, wait, why are they repeating? Okay, whatever. Must be a typo here. So, oh, they are not asking it. So what is the disease of this individual? Can you see? What is this? When you have 3 chromosomes at the 21st pair here, this is what we call Down syndrome. All right, just remember what is Down syndrome? They are mentally retarded, they have slanted eyes, protruding tongue, short neck, things like that. All right, so B, production of papaya R via breeding process. So when you cross papaya R and papaya Q, you will get a better breed papaya R. So this is what we call cross breeding or selective breeding. All right, so you can call this a cross breeding. This is how they get durian lah. This is how they get, you know, different types of durian. You might say, sir, why is there Musang King? Why is there D24? They do this lah. They do this lah. They take different durian trees, they cross them together and do trial and error, see if they get a new breed of durian. Okay, we do this to dogs too, right? This is why you get pure breeds and mixed breed lah. So state the advantage. So what's the good point of doing this? Okay, it produces a new variant. Okay, menghasilkan variant or jenis baharu. Right? You know what's a variant, right? You know what's a variant, right? You see COVID got 4 variants lah, the famous ones. Okay, what's Delta, Alpha, and what is Omicron? So that's how they crossbreed and produce new virus. All right, don't pay attention here. This is the technology thing, the genetic engineering one. Pay no attention here because it's not important. You see, they only ask one question here. All right, next, number 7. Okay, this is freaking important. All right, color blindness. This is what we call a sex-linked disease. All right, a sex-linked disease. What does this mean? That means a male. Okay, sex-linked disease they are only carried by the X chromosome. They are not carried by the Y chromosome. So in this case, if let's say this is color blindness, male has only 2 possibilities. Either you are X big C Y or X small c Y. So if you got the big C, the dominant gene, you are normal. If you got the small c, the recessive, you have colorblind. Right? There's only 2 possibilities for guys. For girls, this is rather a little bit more complicated. You have big C, small c, big C, small c. So in this case, big C is normal, small c is colorblind. And for girls, there's one more possibility, that is small big c. In this case, small big is what we call a carrier. Carrier. What does it mean by a carrier? That means this woman, she has a dominant gene. That means this dominant gene will cover away the recessive. So this recessive will not show. Just because they don't show doesn't mean they don't exist. They are still there, hidden in the dark. All right. So she has no problem. She has no color blindness, but she might pass this to her child. So this is why we call her a carrier. Same case as our height just now. Just because your mom is tall doesn't mean she's not a carrier of short gene, which will make you short. So in this case, women or girls, they are slightly more complicated because there are three possibilities. Guys, very simple one. Because Y doesn't carry anything. We all depend on the X to determine whether we have color blindness or not. So either you have it or you don't have it. Straightforward as it is. Girls, slightly more complicated because they have two X's. All right, so let's look at this. They already told you small b is recessive. Small b is recessive. X small b is recessive. That means X is dominant. Okay, X is dominant. So in this case, a colorblind male, okay, colorblind, that means the male has small b, X small b, because recessive, like in this case here, X small cy. So he is colorblind, and then he marries a carrier female. Carrier means the girl has one dominant and one recessive, like this one, big small c. So normal X and small bx. All right, so when they get married, first child, 1, 3, 1, 4, second child, 2, 3, third child, 2, 4, fourth child. So this fourth child, not fourth child, fourth possibility will be X small by. Okay, so in this case, what's happening here? The first possibility is a female. She is a carrier. Okay, because one is dominant, one is recessive, so it's a carrier. And then this is a female too, because XX is a female. So this female, this daughter has colorblind. And then male, normal, because this guy has nothing. And then this would be male, colorblindness. All right, so in this case, based on the diagram above, state the ratio for getting a normal visual offspring. So who is normal? This person is normal. Okay, and this person is normal too. Right? You might say, sir, how is carrier normal? They are technically normal just because they have a recessive gene, but it doesn't affect them in any way. They still look normal. They still have the normal gene, everything. It's just that they might pass this gene to the child. That's not their problem already. So they're still normal. So 2 out of 4, that means 50%. Okay, so 50% they might get a normal child. 50% they will get a colorblind child. All right, so predict the percentage of getting offspring with color blindness if R is crossed with female that has color blindness. Okay, female that has color blindness, that means she is for sure X small b, right? Because she has color blindness. So what happens when this guy marries this girl? So let's look, okay, there's no more space here to draw. Right, you know what? Let's draw here lah. So X small b and Y. So the first child, X small b. Second child, small by. Third child, small b. Fourth child, small by. So as you can see, colorblind. No matter daughter or son, everyone will be colorblind. So what's the percentage? 100%. Right? I mean, what do you expect lah? If you fully have colorblind, you marry another guy with colorblind, every child would have colorblind because it runs strong in the family. All right. So number 4, men are prone to get colorblindness disease as compared to a female. Justify the statement. Why are men more likely to get colorblindness? Because men only has 2 possibilities, you see. Either you are 50% colorblind or you are 50% normal. It's like flipping a coin. Okay, you have only 2 choices. 50% of you getting color blindness. Whereas for a female, it is 33%, 33%, 33%. Okay, 1/3 one. So 33% should be normal. 33% should be carrier. That means 66% she's normal. She only has a 33% of getting a color blindness. That's why girls is much less likely to get color blindness, 33%, whereas guys 50%. Okay, so justify the statement. Okay, so men have 50% of getting color blindness, whereas females have 33%. Okay, I'm not going to translate this because it's no keywords here. So 50% for male, 33% for female. All right, so B, give another disease which is similar to color blindness. All right, so what else is sex-linked? What else is sex-linked? There's one more. There's another, which is called hemophilia. If you know what is this, hemophilia is when the person cannot clot their blood normally. Okay, they might bleed to death if they cut themselves. Right, really rare disease, but it happens. Right, especially among Europeans you don't really see hemophilia in Asians. Okay, guys, Gina is not being racist. Certain racial group they have a tendency of developing a certain disease. All right, that's just the way it is. All right, so please pay more attention here, guys. Please pay more attention to this sex-linked disease. Very common in exam, especially when it comes to this carrier thing. All right, so anyway, moving on. So I take it you understand. I hope you do. All right, question 8. Okay, this is for sure coming out, guys. For sure. Like I said, variation has two types. Variation has two types. So the first type, which looks like this is called a continuous variation, variasi Selanja. And the next one, this is your discontinuous variation, variasi tak Selanja. So your graph in this case will look like this. Okay, so what's the difference? Selanja or continuous, they are like a continuous range. For example, height. So for height, every height has people. Okay, so you try to ask yourself, are there people 141 cm in this world? Yes, of course. Are there people 142? Yes, of course. 143? Yes, of course. So every value has a person. So in this case, we can say this is a quantitative variation. Quantitative, that means it's about quantity. See how many person has that value. Whereas your discontinuous, this is for example like your blood group. Okay, like your blood group. You have blood group A, B, AB, and O. There's only 4. All right, there's nothing in between. You don't say, oh, I'm half O, half A. 75% A, 25% O. No, it doesn't exist. So this is like qualitative. Okay, qualitative. That means you belong to either one class. All right, so the graph will look like this because there's not many for you to choose. Whereas height, you can be any height from 140 to 175. You can be anything in between. All right, so what is this type of variation? That would be your continuous variasi Selanja. Like I said, this part is almost guaranteed to come out in exam, especially this time, because you don't have much to ask in your second exam, right? Like I said, the first 4 chapters, they are rubbish chapters, okay? The fire extinguisher CPR measure body weight that is a really stupid chapter, stupid 3 chapters, okay? So chapter 5 is the only challenging so far. So since they have nothing much to ask, I can foresee that this part is almost certainly going to come out. All right, so B, which of the following characteristic refers to the above variation? So which one is like this? So number 1, like I said, is quantitative for sure, because it's quantity. Okay, it's quantity. And then show intermediates, yes, because like I said, you could be anywhere in between 140 to 175, right? Anywhere in between. So there's always intermediate, always someone in between. Show distinct category, no. Distinct means separated. That means like this. This is like your blood group. influenced by environment? No. Oh wait, yes, it does. Right, sorry, okay, mistaken here. So your continuous variation, they are affected by genetic and environment. For example, height. You see, to be tall, you need the proper environment. That means you eat well, you sleep well, you exercise well, and you need the gene. Your parents need to be tall. All right, so you need both sides. Whereas your discontinuous, it is only affected by your gene. Only by your gene. For example, your blood group, there's only your gene affecting it. All right, environment doesn't affect anything. You don't say, oh, I eat a certain food, my blood group will change. No, doesn't happen. All right, so this is affected by environment. Okay, so pay attention here, this variation thing, it might come out in your essay. Yes, you heard that right. Your exam this time, they might include essay because they might come out with a full format already, since this is the midterm. So how do you do essay? If I have the time, I'll show you later. So C, describe the factors that cause the type of variation. Okay, what causes this type of variation? Like I said, is genetic plus environment. Genetic dan persekitaran. So D, give two other examples of the type of variation shown above. So what else is like your height, your body weight, berat badan. What else? Palm size, skin color. Skin color I will accept too. Warna kulit. Because skin color, it goes from very fair to very dark. You have anywhere in between. So that's your skin color. So you have two here. So moving on. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand this. So moving on, let's go to question 9. There, this is our essay question. All right, so guys, I don't know whether you are familiar with the format, but usually you are not, because the first exam, the previous exam you had, it was really easy, isn't it? It's just like your normal structural question and normal objective question. But this time, if the full format is coming out, all right, please take note. Question 10 is your experiment question. It's your experiment question. What is this question? They will ask you to plan an experiment. Usually it's something really easy. So what are you supposed to write? You're supposed to write your aim or objective, your 3 variables, your hypothesis, your procedure, and then how do you tabulate your data. Guys, if you know how to write a science report, you should be able to do question 10. Okay, and this question, it carries 10 marks. Okay, hey guys, variables already 3 marks there. Okay, and then observation another mark, procedure 4 marks, hypothesis another mark, tabulation is like 1 or 2 marks. So this 10 marks is almost certain you will put it in your pocket one. Really easy. And then question 11 and 12, you choose one. This is gonna be your essay question, and this will carry 10 marks as well. All right, so question 10 and question 12, 11, here you choose one, you will see 20 marks here. All right, I don't know for you, but for me, this is kind of easy. All right, so let's look at how essay question is like. As you can see, 4 marks here, and then another 6 marks here. So we get 10. All right, so as long as you study this question 11 and 12 should be no problem. So state 4 differences between mitosis and meiosis. Hello, we just did this, right? 4 differences there, where meiosis and mitosis happen, okay? So the only difference here is you cannot draw table. Very annoyingly, you have to write everything out in sentence in a paragraph form. Unless they stated there you can draw table, in no way whatsoever you should draw table. Which is really annoying because you have to, write the whole thing in paragraph form. So what's the difference? Mitosis takes place in somatic cell. Meiosis takes place in reproductive cell. Full stop. 1 mark. Okay. And then mitosis does 1 cell division. Meiosis does 2 cell division. Full stop. Another mark. Okay. Mitosis produces 2 daughter cells. Meiosis produces 4 daughter cells. Full stop. Another mark. All right. Mitosis creates genetically identical daughter cells. Meiosis creates genetically unidentical or not the similar cell, daughter cells. So another mark. So 4 marks there. guys, like I said, as long as you study, essay question you should be able to do. All right, this one you really need to study one. If you say question 10, this one no need to study, you also can do one, because you don't tell me you don't know how to write variables. You don't tell me until this point, you don't know what is manipulated, responding, and constant variable. I will kick you back to form 1. For the love of God, you are 4 years into science already. If you still cannot write that, what else to say besides shame on you? Seriously. All right, anyway, so that's your mitosis and meiosis. So B shows 2 examples of discontinuous. As you can see, discontinuous is like this lah. Okay, like your blood group, you can divide it into four classes, and 4 classes only, not like your height here, there's anywhere in between. All right, so you have your hair, it's either curly or straight, there's nothing in between. Earlobe is either it is free like this or attached like this, there's no in between. You don't say you're half attached. What the hell is half attached? It doesn't exist. All right, so study the information as shown and construct the concept of discontinuous variation. Your answer should be based on the following aspect. Okay, so when you see questions like this, don't worry, they will guide you question by question how to do. So first question, identify 2 common characteristics. So what are the common characteristics of discontinuous? Like I said, they are qualitative. Okay, qualitative in BM. Okay, like I said, just now, continuous is quantitative, so now it's qualitative law. All right, this one show intermediates, right? So this one does not show intermediates. Right, tidak menunjukkan nilai perantaraan. Okay, intermediates is called nilai perantaraan. All right, so I'm just going to keep it short here. So you see, you can do, as long as you study, they will lead you question by question. So number 2, give another example of human trait that show the same characteristic as above. So what is this characteristic? This is discontinuous, right? So give by, okay, this question, what does it mean? That means, in short, to give another example of discontinuous. Besides hair and earlobe, what else? So many. You have blood group, okay, kumpulan darah, fingerprint. Okay, you might say, Sir, I thought fingerprint is different. Yes, everyone has different fingerprint, but every one of us has either one of the 4 shapes. There's only 4 shapes for fingerprint. All right, ability to roll tongue, either is a yes or a no. There's only 2. Okay, so blood group here. So number 3, give another example of human trait that is not shown the same characteristic. That means what is not continuous, discontinuous. That means you're continuous lah. So in this case, you have your height law. Okay, height. So state a reason. Why is height not discontinuous? Because it is quantitative. Like we said just now. Okay, quantitative. So relate the common characteristic to construct the concept of discontinuous variation. So what does it mean? That means they want you to write the meaning of discontinuous variation based on these 2 concepts. So you just basically, what they are asking you to do is to build a sentence using this and this. It's really retarded, isn't it? So what do I mean? So discontinuous variation is a type of variation, because it is a type of variation, right? A type of variation that is qualitative, first point, and does not show intermediates. Second point. All right, that means to use these 2 points to make a sentence with this. That's all. So if your characteristic here is wrong, then your whole thing is wrong lah. All right, so I don't see how this is an essay question. You just answer point by point. All right, there's usually questions like these, they will ask you based on 2 things. Okay, it could be, okay, in this case, they ask you discontinuous and continuous, right? It could be meiosis and mitosis. It could be like, there you have your mutation here. Okay, I'll talk about this later. So they will ask based on things that have two information, like in this case here, discontinuous and continuous. All right. My point is, as long as you study, you can do this question. Essay just sounds very scary. It's not that scary at all. It's just like your sejarah. You know your sejarah, you need to write essay too, right? It's not that hard. Okay, it's not that hard. As long as you know memorize the points, you can just answer them just like any normal question. All right, so take note of question 4. Usually they will ask you to relate it back to your question 1. Really, really easy. Okay, for the other 2, they will just ask you for examples. Okay, what is an example and what is not an example? Usually it's this way. This is the format. This is the format. Usually exam, your essay question will have 4 sub questions there. Okay, let's look at another one. You'll get what I mean. So number 10, state 2 examples of chromosome mutation and 2 factors that cause mutation. So what is a chromosome mutation? What is a chromosome mutation? That means there's a change in the chromosome. Okay, in this case, you have your color blindness, you have your hemophilia. All right. Chromosome has 2 types. If you still remember, that's the gene chromosome, which is the less. Oh wait, this is chromosome mutation. Oh, sorry. I got mistaken here. So chromosome mutation is your Down syndrome and your Turner syndrome. And there's another one called Klinefelter syndrome. All right, so chromosome mutation is the change in one whole chromosome. This is the serious version of mutation. All right, Down syndrome is when you have 3 chromosomes at the 21 there, and Turner syndrome is XO. That means this girl has only 1 X. Klinefelter is XXY. That means this guy has 1 more extra X. That means this person. So all 3, they are pretty damn serious because all 3, they are mentally retarded. All 3, they cannot give birth. They are sterile and they are quite serious. So 2 examples here. Okay, any 2. So 2 factors that cause mutation. So we should know radiation. Okay, anything that cause cancer, radiation, carcinogen, okay, UV ray, chemical substances, things like that. All right, anything that cause cancer, because cancer is a mutation. So whatever that causes cancer will cause mutation. So same thing. So 4 marks here, easy peasy. So 3 examples of gene mutation. So you have your hemophilia, which is the blood cannot clot. Color blindness, we have done that just now. What is thalassemia? Thalassemia is another type of anemia. Okay, you know your sickle cell anemia, that your red blood cell kind of look like a moon crescent shape, a sickle shape. And then that's another type, thalassemia. So study the information as shown and construct the concept of gene mutation. So 2 common characteristics. What is the characteristic of gene mutation? Okay, so it affects 1 gene. Okay, mempengaruhi 1 gene. That means chromosome mutation is 1 whole chromosome going wrong. Okay, 1 whole chromosome. That means a few thousand genes wrong. So that's why it's very serious. Gene mutation, there's only 1 gene going wrong. Like for example, color blindness. There's only something wrong with your ability to recognize color. That's all. Everything about you is normal. Nothing wrong. Okay, so this affects 1 gene, and this can be inherited. All right. Gene mutation can be passed down, whereas chromosome mutation, Down, Turner, and Klinefelter, you won't pass it down to your next generation. Okay, it can be inherited. So another example of gene mutation, you have albinism. Okay, albino, where the person cannot produce any black pigment, which is called melanin. So you look pale, your hair is white, everything about you is white because you cannot produce that dark pigment in your skin. So albinism. Okay, what else? So many. Okay, so many. You have okay, this I think it's everything mentioned here lah. Okay, and then you have 1 more, sickle cell anemia. All right. So anyway, give a non-example. Okay, there's your 3 there. Okay, what's another example that is not like this? That's your Down syndrome. Okay, Down syndrome. So state a reason. Why is Down syndrome not an example here? Okay, because Down syndrome, it affects 1 chromosome. Okay, it affects the whole chromosome, whereas just now it affects one gene. So relate the common characteristic to construct the concept of gene mutation. Same thing. What is a gene mutation? Okay, I'm just gonna say it here. I don't want to write. So gene mutation is a type of mutation that affects one gene and can be inherited. There is sentence making. It's sentence making. It has nothing to do with thinking. Okay, this is just sentence making. So can you see these 4 questions? They are more or less the same as just now. Okay, the first, they want you to identify the characteristic. Second, they want you to give example. Third, they want you to give a non-example. Fourth, they want you to construct the concept. That means to use this and use this 2 characteristics and make a bloody sentence. All right, so you see, this 10 marks are, I don't see the hard part about this. All right, in fact, it is quite easy. Okay, so guys, you know what? I think I'm going to stop here. We have officially finished our revision for chapter 5. I hope this is helpful. Okay, so next week, I hope your exam is not yet here. So we shall revise on our chapter 6 next week. And then the following week, August week 4, hopefully we can continue with our chapter 4, which is the hormone chapter. All right, so guys, thanks for coming. Okay, I hope this lesson is helpful for you. Okay, wish you the best of luck for your revision in your exam. I will see you the same time next week. All right, so guys, take care. See you next week and bye-bye.